Welcome everyone to our second recording of our power rankings for season 10. This time Netex's Gastrodon East Division in the power rankings. My name is Sorrow. I'm gonna be rambling on throughout this video, giving my opinion on the teams. Please keep in mind this is purely subjective, so just all in my opinion. Miklos gave me some input, so shoutouts to him. He also made this beautiful graphic you can see on screen right now. Yeah, and that's just that. If I ranked you lower than you think you should be, please let me know and feel free to yell at me. It's at the end of the day just my opinion. So let's get into it, shall we? Like at 12 we have the Dallas Swallowed, coached by Sabatiel, who has the top pick of Mega Alakazam, which is supported by Corviknight, which is a great synergy in my opinion. Also Ting Lu, like you got this covered really well. Pursuit is legal here, so you're still vulnerable to Pursuit trapping. Also Sucker Punch, so you might want to run Substitute a lot to avoid that. Also really vulnerable to priority or physical moves in general. Like even close combats probably do a lot into Alakazam. Second thing I did like as much is the choice of Terra Captains. I do not know why you chose Miss Magius over Jolteon as Terra Captain, but I'm sure you had your reasons. I'm intrigued to see what you do with it. I would have personally taken Jolt, but again, that might just be me. Yeah, also, and the biggest thing for me on this team is no grass and no fire type whatsoever. So yeah, lacking those, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you need them. If you will need them, we'll see. Yeah. Elsewise, this team overall looks pretty decent. Got good hazards. You got good removal. Like, I'm not too sure about the Hitmonlee here. Maybe another fighting type could do, because you're not gonna run Unburden on this. With no way to immediately proc it. Like, best way probably is like a Sub-Salic or something. But yeah, that's about as big of an issue as I have with. I think also the cheeky little ninjas at the bottom there. I'm intrigued to see if this does something, or if it comes at all, but we'll see. Anyway, I don't think this team is bad at all. Just not the greatest compared to the rest. Then at 11 I have the Chaos Collective, coached by Ultra Colin. This in my opinion also has some big threats in the Kyurem, in the Regieleki if you lose your ground type. You have the Klefki to set up screens for you, which will probably need to pilot this team, as well as web, so you might want to have those a lot. Like Kyurem behind screens, oh dear, this is a threat for sure. Slowking is a great defensive piece. You've got your spikes, you've got your rocks on the team, I think. Or do you actually have rocks? Because I don't think you do, right? Don't think you have Stuff Rock actually, you just have spikes, so maybe a rocker on the team could be cool. Magneton as your steel type isn't the greatest, if I'm gonna be real. Just steel double weak to earthquake, so you probably don't even take one if you're not sturdy. Like in low tier I said, it might take earthquakes, but that's a way lower power level. So yeah, I don't know if Magneton is your only steel. Not too sure about it. Speed tiers are also a little meh in my opinion. I think they're reasonable enough. I mean, I think like Dodrio is like 110, but how often you're gonna bring that realistically? Then Kyurem at 95, then you already go and I think low kicks at 92, I think it is. Yeah, and then you go to like 80, and then it's fine. But just these higher up gaps, like between Sceptile and Dodrio, that's a lot. Like the 130s are gonna go in on you. Also, you probably have to rely on Buzzwell for physical breaking a lot. Maybe the Araquanid if you can to pull it off, or the low kicks, but I think like Buzzwell often probably wants to be defensive. And I'm not sure if low kicks and the Raquanid have enough in this stronger meta game to pull through. We'll have to see. I still like the team. I absolutely would use this if I had to. Yeah, but some, just the things I just mentioned kind of throw me off. Also, this team as well has like as I said, only the spikes and the webs. Really, I'm not that sold. But we'll see, we'll see. Coming in at number 10, we have the London Wespequins, coached by Jake W. Right up, the combination of Tapu Koko and Iron Boulder is phenomenal. Great Tusk, great defensive Pokemon. Hydreigon, which unfortunately cannot Terrastallize here. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Scizor always all reliable. Tornadus Furion as a great pivot candy for you have your rocks from Tusk, and I think Boulder can those as well. You have great pivoting with Hydreigon, Koko, Scizor, and Torn all can U-turn or Volt Switch respectively. Yeah, defog abilities, of course, as I said, Rapid Spin from Tusk, it's great. And yeah, but as you can maybe see, then it's kind of what stops me from being more hyped about this team is that it's rather predictable because it's like ultra top heavy. Like you can see like top 6 Pokemon, and then the next thing is Tauros, which Tauros isn't bad or as bad, I think. Also with Terra might be able to do quite something, as does Colossal and the Vespiquen actually. Charjabug and Blossom as really low tier, just fillers. Actually, I'm not sure often they will come. Like, honestly, for the most part, you can just prep for these top 6, which isn't as easy. But yeah, like in my opinion, this team is too top heavy, which just prevents me from putting it anywhere else. Again, this is just my opinion. I can see this team do very, very well as well. We had also players in VGC last season that did the same, and I think we do again have someone who does this. So yeah, really intrigued to see how far this can go. But for me, just the top heaviness just puts it down so far. Also no Bulgy Water type. Not the biggest fan. Coming in at number 9, the Indianapolis Illusions, coached by Josh. And again, this is a team. This isn't super top heavy. It is rather well balanced, but I also got some issues with it, I've really got to say. This team hates Edgequake. Like your Grafaias. Actually, no. Actually, your lower tier Pokemon do. Your higher tier Pokemon are actually pretty decent. Like Glasgow Skarmory is a very, very good defensive core to go ahead with Valiant. I'll give you that. Mega Beedrill is cool, fast pivot, does a shit ton of damage. Serena and Gudra are good lower tier Pokemon. I do not know what the Grafaiai does here actually. Like it's fast, I guess. But again, no way to use its Unburden, so it's probably relegated to like a Pranks support role with like, I guess, encoring stuff. U-turning around, or maybe even poison. I think it gets poison touch, right? So maybe just trying to poison touch things. We'll see. Zorak obviously here for the mind games. Jellicent, great bulky water at a lower price. Avalok, which unfortunately is not a Terra Captain here, which might make it actually a bit worse because with Terra I think this thing is so much better. And Chimecho, just a really low tier Wish Passer that I don't know if will come as often. Yeah, again, no fire type. People somehow do not seem to like fire types in this draft. Like your fire type is your terrestrializing Gudra. Yeah, Zorok as a Terra Captain is cool. Like 3 mid-tier Terra Captains is actually pretty cool. Like usually like everything below 13, like 13 and below I should say, can be a Terra Captain. So that's something to look out for. Like these I can see all these 3 coming respectively. That's also what put it above like Jake's team for me. But on the other side also this team just, I don't know, for me it just doesn't click as well. Can't wait to be proven wrong, but yeah, guess we'll have to see just how well it does. That's actually, like, I can't say much more. I don't think it's bad at all, I just don't know how well it will fare. Yeah, really like these top 4 Pokemon though, like Valiant, Gliscor, Skarmory, Beedrill. Great combination in my opinion. Moving on, we have the Phoenix Zoroark, coached by Avery, who is returning to the league after a season hiatus. And right off the bat, like Chi-Yu, Annihilate, Raging Bolt, and a Terastallizing Ogerpon Cornerstone make a heck of a great core in my opinion. Like Chi-Yu, one of the biggest threats in the league. We had a vote 2 seasons ago if we should allow the ban. People wanted it in, so we have it here. Because we didn't deem it too broken in draft, so it's actually fine. Still a huge threat. The Annihilate can do like 1000 things, can be bulk up, can be Stargarf, can be a rock setter, can do so much. Obviously the almost present Rage Fist is there as well. Raging Bolt is a great bulky Pokemon. Like I've seen many draft league players use this to a very great effect. Might be a bit weaker in an Dex format, just because there's more possible answers to it, I guess, but still great Pokemon. Ogerpon Cornerstone, can't wait to see how well that will do. Then we have the Iron Crown as their Steel type, alongside with Steelix Mega as a second Steel, so I think that's fine. Not too sure what Iron Crown does on this particular team. Maybe some Electric Terrain would do this team great, because it also like boosts Raging Bolt's electric moves, but it's just my opinion. Quagsire, always a good Pokemon to have on your team. Unaware and Water Absorber, 2 great abilities. Ramblegast, I just realized at 6 points in Natex is probably fine, but we have it at the same in low tier, so that definitely needs to change for low tier. The Crocodile is a nice low tier Terra Captain and bulky Violetmon. The Galarian Weezing, one of my favorite fairy types to use in the format. And in general, great fighting resistance for your Steels, for your Ogerpon, for your Chi-Yu. Could go along with Annihilate as an immunity, so that's great. Mega Steelix, really bulky. And the cheeky Dedenne pick at the end, which I do not think will come as often, but still. Yeah, overall, like, I like this team a lot more with Fire, Water, Grass. You have your Fairy, your Dragon, and your Steel types. Like, that looks like, all in all, a very well-balanced team in my opinion. Not the most threatening I've ever seen, but still, really cool team. Next up, at number 7, and I'm really sorry to put you this low, my man. It's DJ and the Sacramento Nidoking. Right off the bat, Mega Scissor, Tapu Fini, great combination. Prevents your Scissor from being statused, which I like a lot. Also, Fini takes the fire moves aimed at your Scissor very well, while Scissor just sponges poison really well. You have your Iron Hands to go and block electric moves that your Fini would not want. Also, Scissor resists grass 4 times, of course, so also that. Like, these top 5 Pokemon, the Iron Moth and the V-Well as well, are really great together. Like, I think you could justify bring these 5 to every single game and not look back, and then just bring one of your others. Obviously, the Magikarp is just there to make up the numbers. The Sneasel Hisui, I'm no fan of. Like, this thing doesn't even get U-turn like Sneasler does, so really holds it back in my opinion. So it's just not a too good Pokemon. Morpeko is a cheeky little cool low tier dark type. Could see some usage, but again, you already have dark and electric, so I do not know. Honestly, no grass type at all on this team, I think. No. So, and again, foregoing that. Runerigus is a lower tier ground. Why not? Gets rocks, can take away abilities, so that's good. Yeah, all around, I think it's a very solid team. The Dunsparce, I would have liked more if it was Terra, which it unfortunately is not. But yeah, and obviously Terra Captains, Hands and Noivern, 2 very strong Terra Captains. So intrigued to see like Terra Normal Boom Burst for Noivern, Hands just to get rid of that Fairy weakness if need be, or that Ground weakness if need be. Really good Pivot, you also have some decent pivoting in Volt Switch Hands, U-turn Scissor, U-turn Neuvern. Parting Shot more Pico, I think it gets. So if you bring that, pretty good. And yeah, some pretty immediate power in like the Muff, the Scissor, if you bring it offensively. The Weavile, of course, and then also set up opportunities along the way. So yeah, overall good team, but we still have some better ones in my opinion. Next up we have the Eastwick Espions, coached by Mr. Polo. Right off the bat, Chiampao, one of my favorite new Pokemon in singles. In VGC I can't get myself to use it somehow, but for singles I really like it a lot. Serperior is a Terra Captain. Looks to be really, really, really good with Terra Blast, Leaf Storm, and just Terra out of your weakness, and yeah, be a menace with being really fast. Second Terra Captain Skeletorch, which he picked up really early, also great Terra Captain. I don't think I have to say much about that. To complete Fire with a Grass, we have the Empoleon. Yeah, I just really, really like these cores, right? Also, Empoleon is Steel type, of course. Mega Lopunny is always a big threat. And then you have the all reliable Landorus Fury in Natex. It still has knockoff, it still has Toxic. Things just gonna U-turn around, knocking you off, Toxic in you, or do whatever you wanted to. Really, really great Pokemon there. Yeah, and your Dragon, I think you don't have a Dragon type, so this is what brings this team down a little. You have a Terra Dragon Superior, of course, so you might bring that quite a lot, actually. I could see that. Yeah, and also, Hatterene as a fairy is fair, pretty decent lower tier Pokemon. Then the Rotom Fan is a lower tier Defogger Pivot, I guess. And Whiscash and Regigigas, I don't know, we'll see as much. Skuntank for T-Spike Absorbing, I should probably mention. Hatterene also gives you Magic Bounce, so more hazard control there. You have good Defoggers, Lando, Empoleon. Yeah, so overall a really, really solid team. Not much I can complain about here. Really intrigued to see where you go. This is also one of those teams, it's maybe a little predictable, but not as much as like Jake's team, right? So this is why I've placed it a bit higher up the list. Coming in next, we have the San Antonio Esperers and General Snorunt. With his top pick being Clefable. And honestly, if I look at that team right now, I kind of want to vomit. Because basically to me, you have like Clef, Toxapex, Clodsire, Mandibus, so like half stall. Then you get in your Jirachis and your Kangaskhan's, and just like I really, really want to vomit. I do not would want to face this team, like not at all. Dactrio can Arena Trap here. That's important to note. Kangaskhan doesn't have access to Seismic Toss, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I should say, because it would be stupid. Yeah, and again, like Toxapex, Clodsire, Clefable is a stupid core. A bit ground weak, if I might say. But I guess Hydrapple can take those just fine. You have a Mandibus to get in. So in a 2-edge Quake week, I guess. And this is another team I can see like all top 8 Pokemon coming with your Terra Captains, Hydrapple and Clodsire, and the Dragonair if you want to. These can be pretty annoying. Like killing this team will be so annoying. I'm not envying anyone who faces this. Like really, little too stally. Like no fan of like having 8 usable Pokemon and then those 3 in the bottom. Like Snorunt obviously just as the mascot pick. So you basically have, like, I think you have a selection of 10 Pokemon you can bring, which in most parts I would consider 8. And yeah, this is my reason for putting this here. Still really good team in my opinion, and will be fun to play against or around it. Yeah, coming in at number 4 is Video Toy Soldiers auf Wiedersehen, coached by Tonga. And right off the bat, this team, like Rillaboom Sneasler and a Celesteela to boot to take the hits for those two, is simply disgusting. You have the Florges for wish support as well. Gastrodon as a really bulky Pokemon. Blacephalon to be a late game cleaning threat or just breaking in the early game. Mega Manectric as a speedy pivot. Flygon as another pivot. Persian Alola as yet another pivot to Parting Shot around, take the physical hits. Xatu, who pivots as well, gives him magic bounce as well. And the Frostmoth, who as Terra Captain I would not underestimate if I was you. I'm not gonna like this team to me is really, really, really strong. You have your needed cores there. You have a lot of pivoting to get that Sneasler in and in position. You have a Celesteela that sponges hits. You have a Rillaboom to take the electric moves forward. It doesn't want to take Gastrodon for the 5 moves. Yeah, this team easily top 4 in my opinion. Like there is not much that shall beat this easily. Your hazard situation is also pretty good with the Gastro to set it up. I think that's about it. So most of the time you might actually want to try to keep them off, but you can rather easily with Florges as a defog. A Flygon can defog Xatu, Magic Bounce defog as well. So yeah, like if this team had more hazards, I'd put this even higher still. Moving on to our top 3. At 3 I have the Atlanta Pikipeks, coached by a Ninja Dude. I initially had this even higher, but then Miklas talked me out of it, so yeah, blame Miklas. But for me, this is another instance of those super top heavy teams, but in my opinion, if you do go top heavy, you do it like this. Like you have Dragapult, Mega Gallade, Heatran, Hippo, and a Dracozolt as Terra Captain plus the Enamorous. So you have your Fairy, your Dragon, and your Steel. In these top Pokemon you have a Fire type in Heatran as well. Then this is the part of my critique. You don't have a Grass at all. Like your Dracozolt can Terra Grass, but yeah, because I think most of the times you want this as Terra Electric to just both big things into next year. I don't know. I'm not too sure if Zolt gets Ice Fang for the Terra Ice, then I think that makes sense to hit ground types at all. Which makes sense in my opinion if it does, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't get Terra Blast because it's not in Gen 9. But still, you have like also on Terra Captain, like Inteleon as a lower tier Terra Captain, that's pretty cool. I wouldn't underestimate this Pokemon, could very well appear in every game. Yeah, only criticism on the Terra Captains is I probably would have put Muck in there over the Ice Cube. It's just personal preference. But the cool thing is despite being this top heavy, I'd say at least 2 or 3 of your lower tier Pokemon could make an appearance. Like I could see you justifying bringing Muck, Inteleon, and also the Ice Cube as a Terra Captain to games. Even the Volbeat looks pretty cool. The Lycanroc, I don't know. Yeah, main criticism, your team is stupid Edgequake weak, like Earthquake, Stone Edge. There's a lot of defensive pressure on your Hippo. Or are you making a lot of great predictions? Will he edge me? Will he Earthquake me? But outside of that, like this Sand Core plus Pult, Glade, and Heatran, good stuff. Really, really good stuff. If you go top heavy, do it this way. Up next, we have the Chirrut Chiampao, coached by Luxus Lit, and yeah, just looking at the top 3 Pokemon again: Melmetal, Lele, Charizard, Fairy, Dragon, and Steel Core right off the bat. And honestly, this could just be like this just looks super, super scary to me. Like these 3 look, for me, seem to work together very, very well. If you can cover their ground type weakness, that is, of course, which this team actually is quite ground weak again, right? So I've got to say this, you're pretty ground weak. You also want to keep hazards off the field, which you can with Blastoise and Dawnfang. You have Sinistcha as a Terra Captain and Grass type, the Raikou as another Terra Captain, and the Altaria as a great lower tier Terra Captain as well. Espeon for Magic Bounce, Overqwil for your own hazards, Dawnfang for rocks. Yes, you're looking pretty good in my opinion. Only thing you could criticize is that you lack the top speed tiers, with like Raikou at 115 I think is your fastest. Like there is quite a lot above that, but if you can play around this, and I'm pretty sure you can, then you're set to be in a very, very good shape. You also have the Shuckle for even more for sticky web shenanigans, so another way to nullify that speed problem you might end up in if you don't want to scarf your Lele like every single week and still be outsped by base 100s. So yeah, again, Terra Captain, Tennis Chaz, the Terra Captain is a menace. Raikou being able to Terra out of this ground weakness this team sadly has is also big. Overquill for Intimidate is good. Yeah, like I have, besides the speed and a little Earthquake weak, I do not have many complaints about this team at all. And coming in at number 1, we have the New England Rebel Rooms, coached by Alec. And so I have to bet it's a Rain team. It's just a Rain team, but I think it's a really, really good Rain team to boot. You have Gastrodon, you have the Iron Treads for spin support and rocks as well. Among Us, who really likes having the fire moves reduced, coming at Zapdos in the rain is phenomenal with your 100% accurate Hurricanes. Umbreon as wish support, Smeargle for doing anything you probably could want. Terra Captain Minior, I'm intrigued by to see what it does. Pelipper is your rain setter, of course. Floatzel in the rain. Choice Band Terra, what a wave crash is I think all I need to say about that. Swampert Mega, another staple on rain. And then the Grumpig is to either make up the numbers, or I'm intrigued to see what he does with it, if he brings it at all. But yeah, like overall, just a great rain team. I don't think you could ask for much more of a rain team in a draft league. Like you have Floatzel and Swampert for physical breaking purposes. You have a lot of support. You have Zapdos as a special breaker, which it can do. Same for Gastrodon, with the stamina being hard to kill. Yet I really have almost no complaints. I mean, of course, no fire type on this one, but it's a rain team, so could you even use one if Volcanion isn't there? So yeah, so I think I'm like this team for me is the favorite one to win this entire league. People really need to think outside of rain. What I gotta say though, or no, sorry, the other way around. People really need to think how to counteract the rain, and also Alec has to really look how this team pilots without rain, actually, because if you lose your Pelipper, you might be in trouble. So that's the one drawback I see here, right? You really have to be careful or mindful with your Pelipper. But if you can keep Peli safe, you're in really great shape. And that just about concludes the power rankings for our first singles division. I'd again thank you everyone for watching. If you liked what you saw, please let me know. Maybe I'll do this again for next season if the interest is there. Maybe even one of you could hop aboard, help me do these, and help me just ramble on about. Because yeah, it's really tough to just ramble on for half an hour. But anyways, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.